Hey guys, welcome to Samson's World, the podcast. Today on my podcast, I have comedian, entrepreneur, hilarious actor man from the islands. Give it up for Mr. BUTTAH. There you go. Sorry, my applause is not working today, guys. I'm gonna have to look at my effects pad. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it is not cooperating for me today. But you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. But on the podcast,
I come with effects, bro. I come with effects.
He has effects. He wants the DOS effects. Yeah, do your other one. That's good. So, BUTTAH, tell the people, my friend, where are you from specifically in the islands?
I'm born and raised in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Okay.
My history is born in the Virgin Islands. Attended school in Baltimore, Maryland, Morgan State.
Dang. Okay.
Started in radio. Remember that?
Right.
Like before this.
Before podcasting, yeah. When people would actually listen when you got on the air.
That stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the name BUTTAH came from. That's my on-air radio name.
Yeah, so how did you get the name BUTTAH? And for the people who don't know, it's BUTTAH. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I was interning at a radio station, and apparently I used to use that word "butter" a lot to describe stuff.
It's like
butter.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then they started like just saying, "Yo, BUTTAH." I'm like, "Don't call me that." And of course, the minute you say, "Don't call me that,"
right?
Then everyone calls you that. And so the program director at the time was like, "BUTTAH," and I was like, "I guess if that's gonna get me on the air." So,
right.
So I've just been rocking with that. And that's been the name.
What is your real first name? Are you comfortable with saying that here?
Hell no.
No, you don't. So you don't reveal your.
I do not reveal my name. I do not reveal the government unless
the government name.
There was a check signing or a W-2 or a 1099.
And then we will see the real BUTTAH. Then
we will see the government.
That's hilarious.
The government, yes.
Now you're from what? St. Thomas? Is that right?
St. Thomas, born and raised. For those of y'all who know a little history, there are 3 islands: St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix.
Okay.
St. Thomas is like the capital, like rah-rah island.
Okay.
St. Croix is our sister island, and St. John is, just a very beautiful, ballerific island.
Okay. Where is St. Lucia? St. Croix, right? Is that?
St. Lucia is a whole other spot.
Okay, so that's not close to that. I'm an idiot.
Further down.
So
no, it's cool. It's I know people trying to group everybody with the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints. Exactly. Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, but no. It's the United States Virgin Islands, so you don't need a passport to go there.
Oh, really? Because I was like, I have a passport because we're going to do a comedy show there in April. BUTTAH's bringing me down. To do that, but I didn't realize I don't need my passport.
You don't need a passport. The only way you would need it is if you decided you wanted to go to one of the other islands, like the British Virgin Islands. So it's always good to have it.
You got to have a passport.
But in order to get into the U.S. Virgin Islands, you don't need it. Like you can come with your driver's license.
I was going to say, you can look to this camera when we're talking to, but
oh, great.
Just
beautiful.
A little behind the scenes of the podcast, guys. That's why, generally I'm not looking. See, if I was talking to BUTTAH like this, I'd be looking over and I wouldn't be looking at the camera.
If we're more conversational, I'm going to look at you.
Exactly. But either or, but this is part of, act. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, hey, look, you have the technology, bro. You making it work.
I'm trying to. So BUTTAH, so it's St. Thomas, St. John, and
St. Croix.
St. Croix. So it's St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John are the 3 islands? Is that right?
Yeah, those are the 3 islands that make up the United States Virgin Islands.
Okay, got it. And you were born on the St. Thomas Island.
I was born on St. Thomas, born and raised on St. Thomas, yes.
What was that like growing up? I mean, in what most consider paradise. Is it paradise what is it,
It is one of the most beautiful places to grow up and to be from. Mm-hmm. And I'm extremely blessed to be born and raised there because
whoa.
because
you get just fresh coconuts and shit, man.
Because love the coconut jokes there. Love the coconut jokes there in our thatch huts. Samson, really.
You do literally. I know you get. You
also
get fruit.
Again, it's the U.S. Virgin Islands, but the thing is, I've been able to walk confidently in this comedy world, in the disrespectful entertainment business, because I know if anything ever went wrong, if anything, that's plan B. That's like, Hollywood didn't work out, so I guess I'll be in the Virgin Islands.
Right, that is a good point.
Or me. That's my fallback.
Yeah, you have a hell of a plan B,
if shit goes fucked up,
right.
It'll be like, oh well, but I couldn't make it in Hollywood,
right,
so
right.
now he's in the Virgin Islands,
right?
Just,
and most people are like
hanging out.
Yeah, I had a friend who's like, man, if I ever think about wanting to kill myself, I'm just gonna move to the islands or whatever, and yeah, literally, you got a
beautiful
great
place to kill yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I know. I think he was saying if he was going to kill himself, then he would just go to the island, so he wouldn't kill himself.
I think if he got there, he would probably change his mind. And
yeah,
be like,
I think
I want
so.
to
That's
live.
the idea. I want to live.
I want to live.
Exactly.
But beautiful place. Beautiful, wonderful people. I'm blessed to have a lot of family, and my upbringing there was great. My desire to go into entertainment business is why I left, because of course seeking opportunity and everything else, and just wanted to have my adventures as a young man coming out of a small community. But I always stayed connected. I always came home. My mom, family, sister, cousins, family. I have a very big family. So we're always coming home for Christmas and all those things. And I'm very connected to the Virgin Islands. Like that's home. Yeah. And when again, this is why I'm able to function in Hollywood and be like, why does Butta have this really chill, laid back attitude? Nothing ever seems to get to him. Like, bitch, I will be in paradise tomorrow. I will be the shit. Y'all don't have to fuck with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be in blue water, crystal clear, eating good fish, chilling, like, and everybody in my hometown who's seen enough of me would be like, you know what? Man, that Butta, that's a good man right there, man. He gave up his $1 million deals in Hollywood and his mansion and his Maserati, and he moved back home to be a part of his community in the islands. That's a good man right there. That's a good man, Butta. Yeah, hail up. We see you on TV and everything. You're making us proud, Butta. You're making us proud. Like, I'm chilling. I'm like the mayor.
Right, yeah, you go back there and you're the only one who's kind of got off the island.
I'm a superstar.
Right. It's like Tom Hanks in Castaway. You got off the island.
I get there like, yeah. So I'm very grateful.
How come you don't have much of an accent at all? Or do you notice when you go back home, you're unaccenting?
We code switch. Like I could say and talk to you like, Samson, you have a nice house right here. You have a nice TV show. Yeah. Everything going good for you.
Why you code switching with me? I want the real Butta man.
No, this is part of the real. This is the real. Like it's important, to be able to speak and to communicate and let people understand you. And so it's like, when you get around your people, you get around. You always maintain it's always a part of you. Like when I'm arguing with my family, oh no, you'd be like, what? What did you just say?
Right.
When I get home and you see this, it's like, what? You're talking to people like, hey, what's going on? This is my boy Samson right here. He's like, I make you from Los Angeles and da. This is my boy. I take him around to show him, you need to, get, because that's always a part of you.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I've made this point before on the podcast that dialects can often be hard to understand. So say something like, your dialect from the island, a real thick accent, you really have to pay attention to what people are saying to pick it up. Some people are like, wait, what is he saying? You're like, no, that's English. You have to hear the words kind of curved differently.
And I talk about it on stage in the act, about the differences of, being from the Virgin Islands, being from home, the differences, again, just point taken in terms of like how our culturally, I'm always like, well, I have an advantage being from the Caribbean, because in the Caribbean, it's culturally one of those things where it is totally okay to live with your parents. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds great.
So you like, again, it's like the situation of you coming home and they're like, oh, you meet somebody out, like say you dating somebody or whatever down there, and you live with your mom. up in the States, it's like
You're a loser.
Your stock is plummeted. You know, the dump him girl, dump him. I can't believe he lives with his mom.
Right.
And he takes her to church every Sunday. Oh my God, this Norman-based ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? And the Virgin Islands is like, that's such a good man. You know, he take care of his mother in her old age, and he take her to church on Sunday. That's a good man there. That's a good man.
I love it.
You need to hold on to him. You see the way he treats and respect his mother.
Yeah.
That's a whole other difference.
Wow.
The difference of the fact that in the Caribbean, like outdoor fucking is completely acceptable.
Hold on, damn
romantic.
it! I wish I had my sound effect because my record scratch. I would have hit you on that. So outdoor fucking is encouraged, or it's
completely
just
acceptable. It's romantic.
Really?
All you need is a beach and a blanket and some off. You know, because you know the mosquitoes real.
Yeah, that's my thing with sex on the beach. I had sex on the beach one time way back in the day in Cancun when I went for a spring break. And it's really not all it's made up to be because you got sand. You know, sand and sex is not, you don't really want any sand, you know.
Well, you know,
but how do you do it on the island, boy? I gotta learn how to.
That's what you see.
Sorry, my accent. I'm working on it.
You gotta go to. You have to go to the part of the beach that's like, you know, at the end.
Okay.
It's like not as sandy. I don't
know
what
yeah.
you was. You know,
Maybe those little
pebble
beach.
You bring your blankets and stuff. And also the thing about it is that LA Beach is different because there's always that wind blowing in. There's always that as soon as night hits, it gets really cold.
Right.
In the islands, the beaches are very warm.
Oh, yeah. And you can go in the water.
And it's night, it's day, whatever.
Right.
The temperature is the same.
Yes.
You know, the water is beautiful. It's just more, again, it's more romantic. And
it is.
You don't have the factor of you go in some place where people.
You're not gonna fuck in the California beaches in the water. You're like, what is there mercury in the water?
It's very,
like
there's
the
too
Bahamas,
much,
you could easily
needles and stuff and
you could have a girl
dead
ride
bodies.
You could have somebody.
Sewage waste.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, tar and all that shit.
Yeah, so
you could have somebody ride you out in the waves of.
So it's definitely different. It puts you in the mood. The sun, the sea, everything else. You there with somebody.
Everything.
It's beautiful. Everybody, you got your little sun-kissed tan. And it's great. It's great.
I can't wait to go. I'm so excited. I mean, I think as a kid I went to St. Thomas. St. Croix, St. Lucia, all the islands on a cruise boat and everything, you know. But to actually go with you, Butta, where people know you, you're the local town mayor, that's pretty exciting.
Oh, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And the thing is, being at home for me is fun because I get to entertain, you know, my people. You know what I mean? And then you'll definitely see. You know, just in terms of how people respond to comedy and comedians, because people love comedy in the islands. They love it. They love to get dressed and to go out and to watch a comedy show and have fun. And because, you know, it takes a lot to get there. So people are very grateful and appreciative.
Right, that you came all that way.
So you will get treated like a celebrity. You will have groupies. It will be great. It's gonna be great.
Record scratch. Yeah, groupies. Come on, Butta, man. I need some groupies, man. It's about time. It's about time. It's about time. No, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And now tell us, Butta, a lot of people don't know this about you, but you were on MTV, is that right?
Yes. Back in the day.
Back in the day. Were you a VJ or what?
Well, okay. So this is the story, the history of Butta Man at MTV.
Okay, let me hear that.
So my first job out of college, I was in radio. I was in music programming, and in the early aughts, I got recruited to go to MTV.
Wow.
And I worked in the music and talent department. And so basically that was the department that was like, remember this thing called music videos on television and TRL and all that like that. So I worked in that department. And so
where was this? Was this
in New York?
New York. Okay. Sorry.
So I'm working in New York. I'm a music and talent executive. And then I got approached to do some like on-air stuff, just like, you know, just hosting some media events and just whatever. And then eventually I got the idea to do a game show. It was called Hood Fab. It's like a hip hop trivia game show.
Right.
Basically, the whole premise was that it was the brokest game show in America. And so this is like pre Billy from the Streets. That motherfucker stole my shit. So basically, I was on the streets, in a van with like a celebrity, like a hip hop artist, right?
Wow.
We would pull up to the person and then say, "Hey, look, you know hip hop. You think you know hip hop? Great. All right, now here's your contestant." And then out of the van,
Be like Rakim or somebody.
Well, actually, it's like
T.I., yeah,
Rick
yeah.
Ross, or DJ Khaled, or Snoop Dogg.
Can I make a funny DJ Khaled joke? I was just thinking real quick the other day. He'd be the worst person to have sex with because when he comes, he goes, "We the best."
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
We the best.
Yeah. So that and that it was crazy because it ran for like 3 years.
Wow.
That's basically
amazing.
how I kind of got my face out there. And so at that point, but I had always been doing stand up like secretly. Like I was after I was eventually I went to BET. Worked on 106 in Park, like again the last days of music videos on television, and so I worked on 106 in Park. Funny story, last year I was at BET was the year that Brandon Brody was doing
the experiment
for BET. And at that point, it was funny because I was in New York. They were doing that show in L.A.
I was a producer on the show.
And I was begging them, like, "Yo, man, I do stand-up, man. I knew I got this. Can I work on that show? Can I work on that show? Can I work?" And they were like, "No." They kept it in like the little secret, whatever, whatever. But that was how like our paths connected. Because
Right.
I remember that show. That was like
that was an amazing show. I mean, BET ran it into the ground.
They were trying to figure out what to do because 106 in Park was done.
Yes, yeah.
And they were trying to like figure out, okay, we needed social media, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And
I'm so mad. That was a great show.
I think what had happened was, if I'm not mistaken, and this is just me by the water cooler because I'm an executive. At this point, I'm like,
Interesting. You were an exec, so because I know what happened on my side, so I want to hear what happened on your side.
The funny part, as an executive, right? Because I was an executive with the desire to do comedy, and I was going to these little comedy clubs out in New York to work on shit and to just, I didn't have a problem. Like I developed my comedy skills at open mics and everything, but I wasn't like broke, so it was. So I had a good job.
Comics, yeah.
I had a good job. I would come there, do my shit, in and out. But it was great. It was a great time.
That's beautiful.
It wasn't until I got to LA where the broke shit started.
Right.
When I was like, I'm giving my heart to comedy, and it was like, give me all your money.
Give me all your heart.
Comedy was like, give me all your money, give me all your shit, give me everything. We gonna make you work for this shit. No, but at that point,
well, the experiment, what happened is it was originally what was funny about it, they didn't do a think group, because remember the first host was Vince. Remember that Vince? I forget his last name.
They had identified this guy.
They brought him out of obscurity out of
nowhere. And he was
nowhere.
supposed to be like the next big thing.
He was,
and
yeah.
they found him. And I just, again, this is all like
on YouTube,
conference
man.
call,
Yeah.
conference calls. This guy's hilarious. And then all of a sudden he came in, and I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, it was like, oh no, this guy.
I'll tell you what happened. He couldn't deliver lines. They were sitting there, the executives. I'll never forget the first day, and he's sitting there in front of the green screen. He's like, "Hey guys, welcome to the experiment. My name is so and so, and today." And they just realized he couldn't really do the teleprompter very well, and it was very quickly. It was kind of sad because they took this kid out of obscurity.
He was like from North Carolina,
literally,
or somewhere.
Dude, they brought him off YouTube. He had no followers really on YouTube, and it was just like, let's bring this kid out of nowhere and turn him into a star. And BET threw everything around him, and he's a talented kid. He just wasn't ready at the moment, right? So what's crazy is I happened to suggest Brody for a writer on the show. I was hired as a producer on the show by my friend Cynthia Harris, and then I actually got Brody a job on the show as a writer, and he came on at the time when they were getting rid of their host and auditioning new hosts, and so Brody auditioned and became the host of the show. And I'll tell you why they ran into the ground is because the producers didn't know how to cut to editing. They were they were directed to jump cut everything, so it made Brody look like he couldn't deliver a line. Do you know what I mean? So they thought it was a stylistic choice to jump cut it, because in the day and age they were thinking of internet that people do jump cut videos, you know what I mean? But what it did, like I said, it just made it look like Brody could not deliver a line straight. So the editing, I think, is what really hurt the show. It wasn't the editor, it was how the editor was instructed to cut the show. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. It's very difficult, man, when you have an idea and then you have, you have the comedians and the comedians are right, and then you have the executives who are suits who might think that they know comedy,
right?
And then that clash
that ruins
is kind of where it goes. It goes off the rails.
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, I get it, you identify talent, but now, like the thing that the rumbles of the industry is always like, now that I'm actually now on the comic side of things, it's like, you give an idea to the suits, and then they start to make changes and suggestions and notes and stuff. And you're like, wait, but y'all don't know comedy,
right?
You don't know, like, what's up?
Oh, it was terrible too what they did to Brody on that show, because they had him re-audition for his own hosting job. Like, he was doing great, but the show was not doing well. But it was because at first they came out and they wanted to put the show on at 11 o'clock, and then they're like, no, we're going to put it on at 5 o'clock, and just all these things you would think that you would decide, is this a late night show or is it a mid-afternoon type show? And
they said it was an experiment.
It was a full experiment. But it's sad because, like we were talking earlier, that was, again, besides laugh tracks, which came after, it was a great opportunity for the black comedy community to have consistent sketch comedy role possibilities, to get in man on the street bits or whatever. I mean, we were producing so much stuff and using comedians all the time, so it's really a shame.
Because I remember some of some of the comedians who I had eventually came to LA and met were kind of like working on the show and different, like they would have like, people playing characters and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, just to say how worlds intersect.
Yeah.
So then I get to LA, fast forward 2017, and I'm just like, man, I need to, I'm out here doing comedy. I'm out here in the struggle of doing this, because you learn as a comic when you make that transition from exec to comedian, everything changes.
Yes.
And so you're now it's like, okay, now I'm here at the open mics with the comedians, and there is no like skipping the line.
No, it's like going from being royalty. You're like coming to America. Eddie Murphy, who's royalty, but is having to act like you have nothing.
It was an adjustment, but when I got out here, one of the first things that happened was somebody invited me to be an extra on laugh tracks. I get there,
right. That's where we met.
And that's when I run into the casting person who was working at BET, who knew me.
Who was it, Chris?
Yes, Chris.
Chris Sims.
Chris Sims.
Shout out to Chris Sims.
And my guy who was on The Real World, my guy, oh my God, why am I not remembering his name right now?
Who?
Tech.
Oh yeah, fucking Tech. Tech Holmes. Yeah, Tech's the man. He was a former MTV, obviously. Alumni.
So we all kind of knew each other, and they were like, "Yo, bro, like you out here in LA, you doing comedy, like whatever you want to be, you want to do some sketches." And I started reading for stuff, and then I got so everybody who was doing comedy was kind of getting in on that show, and that's how we kind of formed our first little LA family. That's how I met you for the first time, and met this really got building with. I got to thank John Cia for that, because she was
Shout
the
out
one
to
who
John
told me
Cia.
to come down to the just be there, because they need extras, and I didn't know I was going to get. Eventually, it would be getting paid for it and keeping the lights on and being in and being in all those sketches and stuff. And
it was one of the easiest shows to get on TV. You know what I mean? That was a cool part. Shout out to Carlos Custis, the creator and executive producer. Bob Subner was also, part of Laugh Mob. That's where it came from.
Yes, sir.
But it was such a great thing. We were talking about this before. I was talking about the show After Midnight. Taylor Tomlinson is hosting it now. It used to be At Midnight on Comedy Central, Chris Hartwick's show, but he got Me Too'd. But the interesting, it's like you have to be an executive producer. You can't be that.
You have to be. You have to have a chastity belt and just not like, I mean, it's called "Don't shit where you eat." It's not fun.
So he lost it, but that's not my point at all. My point is though. I was on Facebook.
Don't have sex.
Don't have sex. Period. Oh, how do you do that? Kill me.
It's a comedy is now the new horror genre. In order to survive, you can't have sex.
Yeah, do not.
You have to be a virgin.
Really?
At the end of the movie, or else you die.
How boring. But so that's what. You have to be a virgin.
You're the virgin of the movie.
So wait, I just lost my train of thought. But so I was saying,
come on, Marianne, let's do it. Let's do it right here on the set of this comedy show.
Rubbers,
come on,
no rubbers.
Come on, let's just do it. Let's do it right now.
So I posted on Facebook. How do you get? Does anybody have a link to After Midnight, the show, to get cast on? I had a comedian, Brandon Johnson, hilarious comedian, who he gave me some insight. He's been on the show, and he basically said it's going to be, you're not going to get cast on it pretty much. They're casting mostly this did not come from Brandon's mouth. This is, so I don't want to get anybody, but they're casting alt comedian comedy scene, right? So this is kind of the white alt comedian comedy scene. So basically for comedians.
Like Proud Boy comedy? I don't get it.
Alt comedy is, for people who don't know what alt comedy is.
Yes, please.
I would say that encompasses alt comedy is like kind of, I don't know, do I want to say like dare I say nerdier comedy? Alt comedy is more, it includes
Star Trek jokes.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, there's I would say it includes the LGBT community.
Yay!
Oh, which BUTTAH is part of that community, which we'll talk about that too in a second. But my overall point about this is that we need a show like this for the Black community, because what happens in these shows is they cycle through the same white comics that we've seen on Comedy Bang Bang. We've seen them on Comedy Central At Midnight. And it's like the casting director only has that Rolodex of comedians, and there is a whole other world. We were out last night at Brody and Kojo's birthday party.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday. And that whole community, Ron G's, Fatima Talia's, Tony Baker's, BT Kingsley's, Jeremy Scipio's. I mean, the list goes on. The Buttamans, the Del Harrisons. There's so many comedians that we could name that this industry has no clue about. So that's my goal, is to create some type of platform like a Laugh Tracks or an Experiment that it puts all of us back into rotation.
I think that's a doable goal. I think that the key of this, is really, you don't wait, you create.
Yeah, you don't. I like that. You don't wait, you create.
You have to create, and this is where my music background and my comedy background sort of came into play to kind of keep me when shit gets real disrespectful. It's about the fact that, as a music programmer and a programming person, I would have artists come to me and be like, yo, man, I'm hot. I'm the hottest in the street. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's like, so where is your, who's playing your shit? Like, where are you? What clubs are you in? Whatever, like, as comedians,
the things that matter.
We have to make ourselves hot. We can't
Right.
just say that, we're not getting plucked. And it's great if you are the person who gets selected to do these things, or you get, you get the job at the comedy club, you get, like, whatever it is that you're doing to get yourself on is what you have to do to get yourself on. However, we all know that the people who have really quote unquote made it did it, especially the community. They did it because they created their own vehicle,
and it
that
became
got them noticed,
undeniable.
and then and then they can't deny you, and then everything else will come into place.
Exactly.
And I think what happens with us is that, you know, you get that point where like you buy your lottery ticket, and then you waiting to see if your number gets called. And while you're waiting to see if your number gets called, you may not be working as much, you may not be riding as much, may not be going up as much, and you're waiting for that lottery ticket to go because you swore that you or sometimes, you know, we as comedians we put our bets on the wrong horse or the wrong relationship or whatever, and you think this thing is gonna work out, or you think that, you know, because I'm down with this crew of people or this person or whoever, that eventually when they get on, the put on fairy will magically come down and sprinkle me with put me on dust, and then you will get and it's just
that's the biggest misconception. I get tired of it a lot. People always, they'll ask me a lot, why is you know, I'm good friends with Tiffany, and they'll say, Sam, why are you not always working with Tiffany? Why is Tiffany not putting you in this? Why are you not on this? Why are you not working on this with her? And I don't have answers.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Right.
Mind your business.
Right. But I realize when you have friends who become famous, the expectations are so much different. Like, you know, I have my good friend Oscar who works at Jamba Juice, and nobody's ever like, why isn't Oscar trying to get you a job at Jamba Juice? Why isn't Oscar trying to hook you up with free juices or whatever? And it's like, it doesn't mean
I'll be asking.
I know. I should.
Jamba
Fuck
Juice
you,
is the
Oscar.
shit.
But I've had to learn also. I've had to unlearn, let's say, because Hollywood tells us if your friend gets famous and you're there, like Adam Sandler, Kevin Hart, you're going along for the ride. You're pulled in. You're getting all the same work. People are giving you the same respect. And I can just tell you from my personal experience, it doesn't work like that, because I think there's two things. You're either an entity or you're underneath the entity. And I think for a lot of us, you got to decide which one you are. You know, are you the brand, or are you working for the brand?
And, you know, sometimes it's a matter of playing your position. You know what I mean? It's very much, okay, you know what? All right. I know that these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. This is what I have. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. For me, it's more like, I've, you know, the first thing that ever got me on was the show Hood Fab that, you know, was an idea I could see for MTV, and that put me on. I did not go to audition to be a VJ. I didn't do those things happen. Like radio was like, the personality clicked, and they noticed me and was like, would you like to do on-air stuff? Because you usually have a very, you know, you're engaging. You have and I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And you know, I was a promotions coordinator driving the van around, handing out bumper stickers, and I'm like, I'm getting paid like $10 an hour, and this DJ is getting paid $100 an hour, and I'm just sitting here listening to them complain the whole time about what they're not getting and and I'm putting up the banners and putting up. It's like, I can do that, and so ultimately, you know, you get, you know. I've been, you know, working with Crack 'em Up for a very long time.
Shout out to
Nichelle Murdoch, and that has been like my comedy family. Yeah, and so, you know, it's very much about the fact that I'm working there as a producer. I go on the shows, I host, I open it occasionally. You know, I do, and I'm grateful for what, you know, what people are able to do. But what you don't do is have the expectation that because this person is your friend, or because it's great. If you're my friend, you're my friend. Right. You know if you're my friend in comedy, you're my friend. If somebody identifies you and says, hey, you know what, you'd be great in this, then that's beautiful for you. Right. Never be afraid to ask. This is what I'm learning. Like, just ask the question.
Yeah, you have to always ask. Yeah,
because before I would just, if a lot of times people are bitter because they've been sitting around with the expectation, but they don't ask. And if you don't ask, literally you don't get. And so I'm learning to. It took me 5 or 6 years in this town to learn to say, okay, can I do this? It may be possible for me to do this. Yeah. And in some cases, you have to assess, okay, is this ask going to be worth me? Or do I wait? Do I do the long game in relationships? Yeah. Because relationships are about, to me, the relationships are this. I have been blessed because my genuine friends and the people who I like who like me and I like them, but when we're both like, struggling and and I'm going to your house because you're cooking at night. Shout out to John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena cooks it up.
And that's the meal. Like I'm grateful because you are helping me and we're helping each other and we're both in our collective struggle. And then when you get the opportunity because my genuine friend came into this blessing, then if you pull me along, then I'm great and I'm grateful. But there was an expectation because I was there when there was nothing.
Right, exactly.
And that's to me how you assess your relationships. Like I want to be around people who want to be great.
Yeah.
I want to be around people who aspire to be successful. And then you trade that energy and then you elevate collectively.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not one of the people that just coming along to ride off of your success.
Right.
Because obviously, you at this point, you know how to sort and sift the people who are real and the people who are just coming along.
Right.
And I always tell people like, there's a grace that you have to have, from when you're not quote successful.
Yeah.
I had to change my definition of success.
Yes.
And it's based on this thing called The Strangest Secret. And basically, this dude, Earl Nightingale, says that if you aspire to a worthy goal and you're pursuing that goal, you are successful.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the 99% of the people who aspire to do their goals, they don't go for it.
Right. So just the fact that you're going for it, you're doing it.
Yeah, it makes you successful. So now you can stop I don't have a 3-car garage.
Right.
I don't get on this TV show. I can do this. I have to constantly remind yourself that I'm successful because I'm actually
doing it.
And in despite, think about it. When I met you, it was 2017. You know what I'm saying? We were all riding the laugh track bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah.
Since then, we've all had our individual struggles.
Yeah, it's just been hard since then.
A whole pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And we are still here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why we're still here is because in this Squid Game of comedy, you know what I'm saying? If you're on the floor, eventually you're going to get called for your dance. But if you get off the floor, you're not. You're done. You're out there.
Yep.
And so ultimately, you find ways to sustain your dream. Whether it's you creating Samson World, if it's me doing shows in the Virgin Islands, because I'm like, all right, great. Like that's something that I have access to.
Yeah.
That's something that is unique, and it's something that is a blessing because at the end of the day, you have to sometimes go to your blessing. You can't just be dependent. I remember at an open mic, Dave Chappelle showed up. He starts talking to us, and he's like, "Yo, y'all in Hollywood, and Hollywood is a town that's full of vice, and and you guys are trying to make it here, but you understand you can't be afraid to leave here and go somewhere else to make your money or whatever, and then come back here as needed to facilitate your dream." And at the time, I didn't understand it, but now I do because it's like, yo, like you really can get caught up out here.
Oh, fully caught up, yeah.
And you invest in the system, and you invest in people, invest in relationships, and then you go through the disappointments of thinking that, oh wow, this was going to be the thing that really put me on.
Right.
Then it doesn't happen.
Right. Well, it's almost as if like you were investing in all these, I don't know, hedge funds or different companies and stuff that were startups, and you say you invest in Tesla, but they don't honor your stock that you bought. That's the hardest part about it is say you could buy stock early in somebody, they blow up. But the difference is if I bought Tesla stock when it was worth a penny, I still own it. They weren't able to drop me and take my stocks away. But in LA, you can invest in somebody's career, and there's no guarantee that investment is going to take you along.
And the amnesia that the success brings.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, people. I've known tons of different people in this business who've been successful, and all different, from producers, actors, whatever. And it's hard. It's hard not to have the business change you. it makes famous people think a lot of times that everybody wants something from them, which they usually do. And
That's the truth.
you know, Andre 3000, I saw an interview, said that, you know, we're not meant to be famous, really. Nobody's meant to have that much accolades. You know, it's not good for the ego. You know, you need you need to know your shit stinks. You know, you can't just have everybody telling you everything is gravy about yourself. But Butta, before we kind of get out, I did want to talk about for a second. You're a gay comic, which, you know, not you're a comedian.
You just outed me. No, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh my God, his parents know. No, but what I think is very interesting about you is in comedy now, I've noticed a lot of people, it's very trendy to talk about your sexuality. So a lot of gay comedians I'm seeing it seems like, hey, that's me. That's what I'm talking about. And I kind of make a joke like, hey, I'm straight. You know, I don't really talk about that as much on stage, but I understand the need. But like, just talk to me for a minute about that and how, you know, you don't wear it on your sleeve per se. And you were explaining to me before how that's not all your comedy and stuff like that. How do you navigate that?
Well, the thing is because you know, everything is attached to my story because I wasn't you know, I didn't know what I was. I just knew that, you know, I was a radio personality. I was working in hip hop at a time when there was no Lil Nas X's. There was none of that. It was very homophobic.
Right.
You could not be an out like 1999.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, no,
Yeah.
they were looking for gay rappers and trying to, you know, like that was the thing. Like
Right.
the Wendy Williams movement, all that stuff, outing people and stuff. And so it was a very difficult time to be, you know, closeted. But at that time, I was, you know, I'm a Caribbean dude who grew up in a religious household, and I was like, my mom was, and everything was like, I did not want to disappoint anyone,
Right.
And so I was just I was one of those dudes, and again, this is why I talk about material. I was one of those dudes that thought if I met the right woman, it would go away.
It would change,
So
yeah.
even though I had those feelings, I would be dating chicks and
Pray
be like,
the gay
I'd
away.
be like, oh, you know what? It's not that I'm gay. It's just that your pussy wasn't good enough to make me stop thinking about dick. Bye.
Bye. Your pussy's
It's
trash.
your fault. It's your fault. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's funny.
So it was like, you know, I was one of those dudes, like I was dating women and I was like, you know, having those feelings and feeling guilty about it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, how about this? You tell a black woman that, you know, you're great, I love you, but I think that I'm into men. But
Right,
I just
right.
want to be honest with you and let you know, this is what I'm feeling. It's not about you, it's about me. I need to go explore those feelings, but I just want to make sure you're going to be okay because I'll be honest with you and see if that doesn't turn into an episode of Snapped. You know what I'm saying? So just, yeah, good luck with that.
When did you come out?
Oh gosh, I did it in 2014.
Oh wow, so this is recent.
And it was very public. I did it on Sway's Universe, Jocelyn Sway.
Wow.
And at that point, I was again, comedy brought me to my truth. Because when I was doing comedy and talking about chicks and this and that, and realizing that if I'm going to do this, I got to be a truth teller. All
Yeah,
the
be
comedians-
honest.
So then I opened up about my sexuality on stage, and then that became a thing because typically, that people look at me and they're like, oh, is he? What's happening? What's going on? I can't figure it out. And so I basically use that to my advantage because I would come out and talk about whatever. Then I would reveal in my act. So like midway point, like, oh, and by the way, this is it. And then at that point, people's jaws drop. People start looking at me, it gets quiet. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty much what I'm expecting. And it's funny to me because I have so much fun with it now because I'm okay with the discomfort that people feel. I'm okay with, knowing that, the hilarious part is like, part of my act is like just assuring like straight men, like, look, you know what, you're okay. Like you can unclench your asshole.
Hilarious.
Like no one is checking for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because exactly, because gay men have this thing that we've been using for sex that really works well for us, and it's called other gay men. And
well, I think that's a very funny point you bring up. Is a lot of men's homophobia is centered in this thought of like, oh, I can't hang around with a gay man. He's going to try to jump me. But you think about, okay, as a straight male, how many females are you around? And do they have any interest in you? Are they trying to jump you at all? And so it's this idea that, like you said, a gay male is all of a sudden gonna want you like you're special or something.
And I started to say that in my act because I was like, yo, if you can't even get pussy, like why you don't know? A gay man has no interest in you at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You need to be worried about the vagina that you're not getting and bring your numbers up over there before you can even. And even if it's a situation where you do get hit on a gay guy by a gay guy, take the compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like the disrespectful shit. And it's so funny to me because like, I will sit in a comedy club and hear straight comics make the 1985 Def Jam gay jokes because they're still doing it.
No homo.
they're still doing it.
Right.
Oh my god! Like it's like this. It's just the same recycled shit.
It's very
Then I go on stage and I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's quiet crickets. I'm like, okay, great. So I listen to y'all gay jokes all night, and when an actual genuine article produces something, now y'all get quiet. No, I've heard it. I've heard it all.
Yeah.
They already said it. It's okay. I'm not tripping. Like you can say any unfunny shit you want about gay people. I don't care.
Right.
It's just more about the fact that you need to understand that your lack of attraction
is what's really
causing the problem for you.
Your breath is the real problem.
And understand that if you have a problem with gay people, particularly gay men, then guess what? You don't have sex with other men.
Right. Yeah, you never see women worried about other gay women, jumping them or something.
It's like we're not trying to recruit you because guess what? Our apps get us laid 99.999% of the time.
We don't need you.
I got dick and ass coming at me from every direction, every minute of the day. I could literally walk around the corner and get my dick sucked.
Well, we're in Silver Lake.
Oh yeah! Oh, big time. Get my dick sucked and get a fucking latte.
Yeah,
and get some
street taco.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? And then go see a fucking garage band. I mean, this is great.
Hilarious.
It's just great. It's the artsy district, and guess what? We're not worried about. I'm actually trying to find someone who doesn't want to have just sex with me.
Right, it's a real relationship.
I want you to want to go out and do shit.
Right,
I just don't want you to like just have sex anymore because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, what are your interests?
I'm exhausted.
Right.
I'm exhausted. I'm like, stop trying to have sex with me. Can we just go on a date? Because in gay world, sex is the date.
It is the date.
That's
true.
what they don't understand. It's like, bro, no, trust me, we are scheduling.
Well, yeah, because dudes aren't. There's no foreplay, and there's like, I don't want to go to. Do you want to go to dinner? No, I don't go to. We just want to fuck. Let's just fuck. Where women, you have to go through all. I'll take you out to drinks. Let's do all the things, and then hopefully we'll have sex. Where men, we know. We just want to have sex, so it's just an agreed upon thing. Yeah.
One of my bits that I was doing early, like I was doing in the beginning, was it was like the trailer for Gay World, and I was like, in a world where you can have sex for the rest of your life and never have to take anyone to dinner. That's Gay World.
Gay World, where dick is unlimited,
where you never have to negotiate getting your dick sucked. That's always on the table. Gay World.
Gay World. It's a dictatorship.
You have to I'm sitting there like, wow. I dated women, so I know I'm like, shit. I don't know. This whole whining and dining shit, like, good luck with that shit.
It's expensive.
Good luck, heteros.
Yeah, right. It's awful. No, but man, we've exceeded our time limit today, so I just wanted to thank you for being on the show today and wrap it out and have you tell these good people where they can find you on the social medias. Well,
you can check out my IG. It's all things BUTTAH, all things BUTTAH, all things BUTTAH. And right now, I'll be real with you. I gotta step my game up. If you go on there, you're gonna see pictures of me like in the islands, like nice. From like months ago. But that stuff carries. But ultimately, man, I will be, working on, a series of shows out in the Virgin Islands. Mm-hmm. Samson will be coming with me.
I will, 420,
in April. Right? I think like around that time.
Around there.
We get specific. But yeah, man, and then in the meantime, I did a hood independent movie.
Oh shit.
It's called C2 Back in the Hood.
Oh shit.
It's on Vimeo streaming, it's on YouTube streaming, full like full movie. I'm playing a gangster in it. And,
snap.
yes, I'm thug number 2.
Nice.
Yes, and it's cool because again, one of those instances where one of my comedian friends, his name is Abens Maurice.
Okay.
Actually, he's
Yep.
done some stuff with you. He got a deal to be the lead in an independent project, and he was like, "Yo, I'm making a movie. You're coming in with. I got a part for you."
Wow.
And
That's what I'm talking about.
Those are the things that and this is like his second independent film. They get upstream to like Amazon and Tubi and all that stuff. And honestly, at this point, I'll take the IMDb credit and I will
That
take
part.
the role. And I'm grateful because I have 2 legit film roles under my belt. I didn't have to go to nobody's hotel suite at 3 in the morning.
No
I didn't
Harvey
have to break out
Weinstein.
I didn't have to break out the knee pads.
Oh, that's good.
And so I just I'm grateful for all the opportunities that I get. And then you can always see me running around the Comedy Store on Thursdays to crack them up. Shouts to Michelle Murdoch, just running around doing my due diligence, whatever, keeping the candy dish filled in the green room. Like whatever. Like
Yep.
you have to get in where you fit in and be humble and grateful.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much, Butta Man. This has been another episode of Samson's World. You guys can follow me. My socials are below. Subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, the TikToks. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Butta Man.
Yeah.
Look, Mom and Dad, I'm on TV.